So we're going to start seated, but have your bits and bobs by the side of you because we'll use them in a moment. So rolled up blanket, a belt and a block. And then come to a seated position. And you might actually benefit from sitting on something at this point if you find sitting upright feels a bit hard work. So this is where a block or something is good, or even sitting on your blanket. Just very often you put a little bit of support under the bum and suddenly you just feel that much lighter in the upper body. And it's easier to roll the shoulders back and down. So you can have your hands palms down on the legs. It's a grounding gesture, so it's really sort of connecting down through the tissues to the earth. Close your eyes. And just check in with yourself. This moment at the beginning of a yoga class. Great time to ask yourself how you're feeling. Which sounds really obvious, but I think we forget to do it. I certainly do. So yoga can help. This little sort of ritual in yoga can help you make that a more regular practice in your daily life. Just pausing to take stock. And now noticing your breath. And I want to do a practice with you called Breath of Fire. Sounds kind of a bit intimidating. We've done it before, but I found another technique which I quite liked that makes it a little gentler. And then we can work it up to something stronger. So let's just first of all notice the in-breath, the quality of the in-breath, cooling in-breath, and then noticing the quality of the out-breath. And it's warming sort of quality of the out-breath. So we'll take a few breaths, observing these contrasts, cooling in breath, warming out breath. And no doubt there are lots of other attributes to the out breath and the in breath, so you can make a note of those. But we're going to shift our focus to the out breath now. And to help us, we'll take the hands and just place them over the belly area. So what we're going to do is we're going to really sort of squeeze and contract the muscles with the out breath. So it's a gentle sensation, a gentle action. Squeezing and contracting all the muscles around the belly, underneath the hands, to support that warming out breath. So the in-breath is involuntary. We're not trying to shape or control that. Just let that happen naturally. And then again, coming to that out breath, squeezing. Feel the contraction under the hands. So we'll do a few of these, and you just find your rhythm. I'm not going to count you in and out because I think we all have slightly different rhythms. So cooling in breath, involuntary, let that just occur naturally. contracting all the muscles around the abdominal area to support that out breath. Although we are contracting on the out breath, just make sure that it's not tight, creeping up into the face or the shoulders. We're trying to sort of really focus around the abdominal area. So we're going to make that a little bit stronger now. So relax at your effort. And if you prefer to sort of take your hands off the body, rest them on the legs, you can do that. If you like, if you feel that it's useful having the hands there, then keep the hands around the belly. So we're just going to slightly speed that up. So traditionally when I teach Kapalabhati or breath of fire, it is quite fast. It's like this. But maybe, that you can get benefit from it without going at a great pace. So find a rhythm that feels good for you. We're going to do, a slightly faster version, and we'll do, say, 10 of these out breaths, using all those abdominal muscles. So deep breath in. And then when you've completed that series of breaths, then you're going to come to lying on your back. So we will do this again in a moment, but we'll come to lying down. So take your time to come down. And then we're going to pick up the right knee and bring it in towards the belly. So to reinforce in a way that action that we're feeling in the belly on our Kapalabhati breath. So we're just sort of gently squeezing the knee in, and then you can extend the other leg if you feel strong. You can really go for it, really press out through the left heel and dig the heel into the floor and slide it away. And they call this wind relieving pose. So very good for sluggish digestion. And you can feel that it's stimulating the abdominal area. So in this position, we can do another couple of those breaths. Slow it down a little bit. So a feeling of squeezing all the abdominal area to support that out breath. And now swap legs. So we're taking the left leg and pulling it gently in. And sliding the right leg away if you feel comfortable with that. Pressing out through the heel, flexing the sole of the foot. And take another of those really sort of mindful Kapalabhati breaths. And then release your feet back to the floor. Bring your hands onto your belly. So we're going to do another round of Kapalabhati, but this time we're going to take a slightly stronger rhythm, or find a slightly stronger rhythm. So it's more, traditionally it's more like this sort of. So you don't have to go as fast as that, but you could perhaps take it up a gear, and we'll do 10. So just when you're ready, take a deep breath in. And then completely relax when you've done that. So we'll come back to what we were doing a minute ago. We're going to use the little bit of support under the hips. So your rolled up blanket, whatever it is you had, or if you had a bolster, that would work. And it's going to come under the hips, just to give us a little bit of lift. It should feel nice on the lower back. And then pick up your right knee. And really pressing out through the left foot. If you're comfortable with extending that left leg, then you can really go for it, really engage the foot, dig the heel into the floor and push it away. And then swapping. And if you can, pull the lower belly in and up as you do this. So we're doing the other leg now. And then bring both knees in. Actually, when I say in, I mean they're lifted, the foot is lifted, but actually we're going to keep the kneecaps more towards the ceiling, and then take the legs wide. A little bit of flexion in the feet, so we're opening up the groin and the inner thigh. So we're still supported with the little bolster or the rolled up blanket. And now straighten up the left leg. And keep the toes, so the toes are flexed. And make sure that the toes are lined up with the knee, that you're not taking your foot out at an angle. And again, we're sort of pressing out through the heel and press back into the bent leg. So we've got a nice feeling of extension, but keeping the other leg bent and pressing it away will make it feel, really supported, not overreaching ourselves here. And let's swap. So bend that straight leg and straighten the other leg. So the toes flexed, but don't let them lose their alignment. So you're going to feel this in the inside leg of the straight leg. Well, actually in both legs, but especially the straight leg. Stretching those inside leg muscles. And now bring both knees. So both legs are bent, but the knees are as wide as you can comfortably take them. The feet are flexed, and the toes follow the line of the knee, so they're not taking an angle out to the side. And we're just pressing gently into the inside thighs, and we're going to just lift the knees up in towards the chest a little bit, and then let them drop away. I really find this very good for sort of opening up the groin, inner thigh, and you can kind of do a little bit of side to side too. So lifting and lowering, and some side to side movements. Hard to open up these muscles, so hopefully this is going to feel good. And then let's just take 3 of those Kapalabhati breaths, the nice mindful ones, not the super fast ones. So with engagement of the abdominal muscles to support that nice warm out breath. And we're bringing the knees up, placing the soles of the feet back on the floor, and take your arms over your head. So the arms are resting on the floor overhead. And then straighten up your legs. And we're going to imagine that we are in a standing mounted pose, but obviously we're lying down. So really engage the feet, really press into an imaginary floor. And then we're holding the left wrist, and we're going to gently pull that left wrist over to the right side, really deeply opening up the left side of the body. And then, so we take the feet over to the right side too. So we're sort of a banana shape. So you will, leaning over to the right side if you're doing a Tadasana, but obviously you wouldn't really go for it. Nice thing about working on the floor, you can take a few more risks and perhaps extend further than if you were having to support yourself standing. And then we'll go to the other side. So first come back to center. Swap wrists, so hold the other wrist. And move over to the opposite side. And just see how far you can go. You might surprise yourself. Really breathing into the armpit, the intercostal muscles in between the ribs, the waist, top of the hip. And then come back to center. You are going to come up a little bit, or we're basically going to use our little rolled up thing, and we're going to put it under the back of the heart. So you'll probably need to sit up a little bit to position this under the back of the chest. So you've got a little bit of a lift for the chest, and then come all the way down. So if you're uncomfortable, and it is quite likely that it might feel a bit uncomfortable because you are taking a very different shape from your daily posture, which most of us, we do collapse a little bit in the chest, and in this we're obviously lifting the chest a lot. So what I suggest, if you're feeling very uncomfortable, keep the legs bent. We're going to hold the elbows overhead. If that feels too strong, hold the wrists. And we're trying to really extend through the arms, so we're reaching away with the arms away from the chest. And if you're comfortable to straighten up the legs as though you were coming into like a mountain pose, you can do that. Flex the feet, push away through the feet. Open the armpits. And we can explore that Kapalabhati breath again here. I know it's quite a bit stronger to try and do that in this position, but just make it really mindful, engaging those abdominal muscles to support that nice controlled out breath. And then you can ease off a little bit by taking the arms out to the side so they're like aeroplane arms. And then from that position, I think it's a bit easier to feel those shoulder blades and squeeze them in towards each other. So even though it's, not a lot's happening here, not a lot to see anyway, you can still get quite a dynamic sensation between the shoulder blades, those rhomboid muscles squeezing in, knitting them together, zipping them together. And then relax them. So do that a couple of times. Excuse me, I'm just going to sneeze. Oh no, it's gone. So yeah, we'll come out of that now. So just you probably want to bend your legs first, support yourself with your hands to come up. Karen, I was wondering, just a thought, I was just looking at that. Was that roll, was it more down the back or was it up here? Okay, that's fine. I couldn't quite see, so I thought I'd just check, because sometimes it looked like it was more around your waist, but so long as it was, yeah, I mean, it's not going to do you any harm if it goes lower. It's just that you need it to be up here. But okay, I just couldn't quite tell. So we're going to come onto all fours. You can put your stuff away to one side. Come onto all fours, and we're still working on the abdominal area, but obviously from a very different shape. So can you feel your abdominal muscles rippling, squeezing, pulling in and up? Press down through all the joints of the hands, and then let's round the back, stretching the spine. And you can press into the front of the feet and just lift the knees a tiny bit, just a little. So we're on the front of the feet, we're not tucking the toes under. That will warm you up. And then bring the knees down and relax back into a normal shape, well, regular sort of shape. And then we're going to lift the chest. So this is more the shape that we were making when we had the bolster under the heart. So we're going to really stretch the throat, stretch the collarbone, and as though pressing the chest through the arms towards the wall in front of you. And squeeze your inner thighs together. So you feel a sense of your foundation, that you're not kind of losing connection with the lower body. Squeeze the glutes together. And can you sense the posterior chain muscles up and down the spine between the shoulder blades? Can you engage those? And then relax to a neutral position. Tuck your toes under and come into downward dog. We'll just connect with the breath here. So bend the right knee, breathe out. And the left knee, breathe in. And the right knee, breathe out. And the left knee, breathe in. And nice and smooth and slow, walk your feet toward your hands. Now, if you feel like you get a bit dizzy in this low forward fold, then you can bring your hands up to the top of the thighs. Otherwise, stay low. And we're trying to get a sense of lengthening through the back. So it's better to bend the knees and go for a long spine than to have your poker straight legs and find that you're not really having a sense of opening the back. And it's nice to have the hands firmly pressing into something, so either the top of the thighs or to the floor. So if your hands don't come to the floor, don't worry, just bend the knees. That will make it work for you. And then we're going to come up, so you can bring your hands to your hips, keep a bend in the knees, come all the way up. And now turn the palms out. So the hands are by the side, we're coming into mountain pose. Turn the palms out, quite exaggerated movement outward. And then we're going to come up overhead with the arms, with a little bit of flexion in the hands, opening up the palms. And really reaching overhead. So we're going to take the shape that we did from lying down position. So we'll hold the left wrist, and then lean over to the right side. Keep pressing into that left foot. Quite a different feeling, isn't it, from when we were doing it on the floor, but make sure to breathe into the left side. And then come back up to center and hold the opposite wrist and lean over to the other side. And then back to center. And bring your hands down. So to do that, I'm just going to come down, turn the palms out. Sorry, I'm not demonstrating. I just realised you don't have to come down, but I realised my hands weren't in the picture, so I'm kneeling to show you. Turn the palms out and then press the palms away to bring them down to your side body. So we're going to do a little repetition of what we were doing on the floor, and see how it feels very different when we're in a standing position. So we'll take a balancing pose. So if you need to move to a wall or use a chair, please feel free to. So you can have the chair just. We're gonna, actually, let me think. Yeah, we're lifting the right leg first. So yeah, put the chair into the left hip. If you've got enough height in the chair, then you can kind of just lean into the chair. I find that works quite well sometimes. Or obviously you've got the option of just holding the chair. We're going to lift the heel of the right leg. Make the left leg very solid. And then let this knee float up. Hold the knee. And can you, because hopefully with the chair there, you can go a bit further than perhaps you would. We're going to hug the knee up into the belly. And really work that standing leg. So for once, I don't normally say this, but can you really make that leg straight? Normally I'd encourage a little bit of softness in the knees, but challenge yourself to really straighten that leg. Press down through the foot. And then we're going to come out nice and controlled. Bring the foot down. So if you want to turn away or just move the chair, go for that. So just when you're ready, you can make that right leg really solid. Lift the heel of the left leg. Let the knee float up and hug the knee in. So they say wind relieving pose. So in a sense, we're, even if the thigh isn't pressed right into the belly, there's still that slight contracting stimulation of the abdominal area to help the sluggishness in the digestion. Almost as though you're massaging. Well done. And then with control, dropping the foot back. Just put the chair to one side. We'll do a few little sun salutations. So I'm very fond of this action where you turn the palms out, really activate the hands, really sort of pressing out through the fingers. And then bring nice smooth movement upwards to take the arms overhead. And then with a little bend in the knees, we're going to come all the way down to a forward fold. So again, if you're not so keen on the forward fold, or you find you're a bit dizzy, you can have the hands on the thighs instead. So you're not going so low. And then from here, hands to the floor, slide the right foot back behind you, take a lunge. And then smoothly coming up to upright lunge, turn the palms out. Nice big circle. Just take them overhead. We'll take a side bend again. So grab your right wrist and lean over to the left. This shape. Obviously, there's a little bit of instability because we're doing this side bend. So can you make an extra effort to stabilize by squeezing the thighs together, pressing the feet back towards each other? And a nice controlled exhale. We're using those Kapalabhati techniques. So that squeezing of the abdominal area. Breath of fire. To help with the exhale. Come back to center. Turn the palms out and take that nice big wide circle of the arms. So bring them down to the hips, and then we're going to step into downward dog. Connect with your breath here. So bend the right knee, breathe in. Bend the left knee, breathe out. Bend the right knee, breathe in. Bend the left knee, breathe out. And now pick up the right foot. We're stepping it forward into the lunge. And from here, coming up to high lunge, turn the palms out. So you've got that, when you turn the palms out, you'll feel sort of that nice little opening in the shoulder. Bring them up overhead. We're taking the opposite wrist to the left wrist and pulling gently over to the right side. Or the opposite side, actually. Whatever was the opposite side for you. A little bit of instability with this shape that we're making. So squeeze the thighs together, press the feet back towards each other to support give yourself a strong foundation or reinforce your foundations. And then you could use your abdominal powers as well with the out breath, squeezing the out breath. Squeezing that breath out. Come back to center, turn your palms out to the side. Down. And then we're stepping forward into forward bend. Remember, you can bend the knees a lot. We're going to take a squat. So you've got options. You can have if you want more stability, then perhaps you'll be happier with a wide stance. But I do enjoy the feet and thighs together, but it's both is good. So if you want a slightly wider stance, we'll do a few of these, then go for a wider stance if you feel like you need more stability. We're bending the knees. We're going to swing the arms back towards the hips. If your lower back is vulnerable at the moment, then you're just going to well, definitely don't lift the arms. Keep the arms by the hips or into the heart. And we're really engaging those abdominal muscles that we were working in the Kapalabhati breath. So pulling in and up. And then we can come up and down a few times. So traditionally you bring the arms up in one long line from your hip. So if you feel happy to do that, go for that. Sometimes that strains the lower back a bit. So if that option feels too strong, bring the hands into the heart instead. And we're just going to move in and out, hands up and down with a little lift and lowering as we come in and out of this. Thighs squeezing together. Glutes a little bit squeezed in too. Belly pulled in and up. And there's interesting research around squatting as an exercise that's very good for the brain, very good because the movement up and down of the head apparently creates a situation where there's lots of oxygen, glucose, blood flow to the head, to the brain, which is apparently very good for cognitive function, memory. So lots of squatting, very, very good for. So probably you had enough of that now. So you can just come to standing, turn the palms out and lift the arms up and overhead. And we'll take one more side bend. So hold your left wrist and pull gently over to the right side. So I've got my feet together. If you need more stability, then take the feet wider. This gives you a more stable foundation. Breathing into that side body. Come back up and swap hands. Take the other side. All the way over to the well done. Come back up to center. Turn the palms out. Pressing the palms out to the side as you bring them down. So it's a little bit of that sort of shape with the hands, which is great if you've got things like carpal tunnel, those kind of conditions in the wrists. So we'll do a little eagle pose. So eagle pose, you're going to take your arms wide. And we're starting with the left arm. We're going to bring the left arm under the right. And if so the easier option is to have hands on the shoulder. The less middling option is to press the back of the hands together. And the more intense option is to press the palms together. And then we're just going to lift and lower the elbows. So we've got the left hand underneath. So we're going to just pick up the right heel. Lift that knee. And you've got options. A gentler option would just be to cross the leg loosely, very loosely. And the stronger option would be to do a full cross of the leg. I know it's a little bit challenging. And we're not going to hang about here. We're going to uncross that leg and step it back. So we've got both feet flat on the floor. And then from here, pick up the back heel, lift the back heel, and rotate on the foot. So we're turning into more of a warrior two shape. So the hips open to the side of the mat, and we'll release our arms to shoulder height. We're going to bend that front knee. Have a little look down at your feet, because I find that easy to misalign here. So the warrior two, we've got the front knee ideally above the ankle or behind the ankle, and the arms shoulder height. And look back at the back arm, because sometimes I notice this is going on. I've lost my back arm. Press back into the back foot, and we're trying to really support our foundations here. So squeeze the thighs together, even though they're obviously not going to touch. Have a sense of squeezing in and squeeze the feet back towards the midline. You look along the left fingertips. And then we're going to straighten up that front leg. We're going to tip back into sort of like a reverse triangle. So the right hand on the right thigh, left hand up and over. And then we're just going to very smoothly come down. So you don't have to come very low. It could be that you just have the hand on the top of the thigh. But if you do feel comfortable to go lower, then feel free. Little challenge here is to turn the palm of the back hand up and take it up and over the ear. So I'm aware here that I've overextended. I'm going to bring my back foot in a little bit. So feel free to adjust the feet. That's what sometimes we. And then to come up, bend that front knee. Lift yourself back up. Bring the hands back into the heart. Lift the back heel. Turn on the ball of the foot so your hips point back again to the front of the mat. And we're going to come into a little balance. So if you want to just hop in a couple of times before you come up with the back foot, and obviously you'll be each feeling very different. So if you want to just hobble the foot, that's good. Then the knee, if it feels very strong on the lower back, or fully extend. And with control, we're going to bring the feet back together and pausing here. So let's take a wide stride again. And we're going to bend the knees. We're going to really pull that lower belly up and lengthen through the lower back. If it helps you to have one hand on the lower belly, one hand on the lower back, to just remind yourself of what that feeling should be like. Squeeze your thighs together. So really a lot of power in the inside leg. And gently engage your glutes. And then we're just going to come up and down from this position. So again, you could have your hands, drop them to your side. If you like them here, keep them here, hands into the heart, or up and overhead. Any of these options is good. Just keeping that. Just one other thing, you want to feel quite light in your toes. So you could, as you do this, just lift and lower your toes a couple of times so that you're not scrunched up and all tense in your toes. then come all the way up to standing. We'll do the eagle arms on the other side, so we're taking the arms wide and bring your right arm under your left. So this options are hands to the shoulders. You okay, Beryl? Can you not hear me? Sorry, 1 second. I'm just going to unmute you because I can't hear you at all. 1 second. Sorry, I don't get any volume from you or. Just so you know, I can't hear anything you're saying. Sorry about that. You'll have to unmute yourself.
No, I've got a new printer and it's not been doing its thing, and it's sending me messages now.
Oh, okay. So it's not, you can hear me. It's not a problem with me. Okay.
No, I just get these messages coming up.
Okay. Oh no, sorry. Okay, let's continue. So we've got our right arm under our left. You lift and lower there. Brilliant for the across the back. This right arm under the left. So we're going to lift the opposite leg. It's the left leg. And you've got the option of just going for a very gentle sort of crossing the leg, or a full kind of squeezing the legs together. So once again, sort of squeezing your inner thighs together. You can drop into a little squat as well, bend the knees, lower. Quite a powerful pose. And then we won't hang about, so we're going to lightly uncross the legs and step back. So both feet are flat. I'm just turning around so you can see me. Both feet are flat. And then we'll move into warrior two. So lift that back heel. You might need a wider stride for this. Lift the back heel and then rotate on the ball of the foot and release your arms to warrior arms, shoulder height arms. So just look down at your feet. It's so easy to lose the alignment with this. So knee above your ankle or behind the ankle, the patella, the kneecap, lines up with the middle toe. So if your knee is moving in or out, then can you just line it up? And the only way to know for sure is to look. And then arm shoulder height, this happens sometimes. For me, my back arm sort of drops down. So can you just check that you're nicely lined up? Press back into the outer heel. We're straightening up the front leg, and we'll take it's like a triangle. So we're going to bring the left hand to the thigh, right hand up and over. So you're breathing and opening into this right side. Come down. So very often people do like to come low into a triangle, but it's good also to not overextend. So you could just have the hand on the thigh or the lower leg. And then turn the palm of the back hand up and bring that hand up over the ear. So you're lengthening down the side, top side of the body. Squeeze your thighs together, especially if you're feeling a bit unstable. We'll come up, bend the front knee to help you come back up. Bring the hands to the heart, lift the back heel. We're going to turn the hips back to the front of the mat. And you can we're going to take a balance. So if you're if you've got a big wide stride, that can feel a bit much to take yourself up into a balance, so you could sort of hop in a little to come up. You choose how. Even when you're just hovering the foot, you'll get a load of benefit. So sometimes we get put off balances because it feels like you have to do more, which obviously you can always do more, but doing less is also a good option. Hovering the foot, maybe bending the knee if you feel any twinging in the lower back. We'll finish bringing both feet together. Turn back to the wide edge of your mat. So, and then pick up your block. And take a wide stride. And the block now is going to come on the right edge of your mat. So we're going to just do that triangle shape with the help of a block. It makes such a difference. And then maybe into Parsvakonasana. So the toes point forward for now. And you probably need a fairly wide stride, but you don't have to be hugely extended. Turn the right toes out, turn the left toes in. And bring your hands up to shoulder height. And just, actually, we want the block around the, in fact, let's all of us pick up our block. It's probably a bit easier than hoping that it's going to be nicely positioned for us. And we're just going to take like a teapot, take a little side bend. And what I'm hoping is this block will support you, so you can really lead into the block. And the top arm, let's give that shoulder a little bit of a break and wrap the arm around the waist. And then gently pull that shoulder back towards the wall behind you. So you open your chest a bit more. So we're set up now for Utthita Parsvakonasana. So you can now bend that front knee, so the knee comes over the ankle. And got the option of sliding the back foot away, but you don't have to take that option. That will make it a lot stronger. So if you wanted to go a little stronger. And then release that back hand, turn the palm up. We're going to very smoothly take this arm up and over the ear. And one day, what we're working towards is a line from the back foot to that raised fingertips. And keep pressing into the block. I hope the block's helping. It is a strong pose. And then we'll come out by bringing the arm in front of the body and resting it on the side body. The hand can come up onto the thigh and you can push yourself up. Turn the toes back to center. Really strong sequence that, so you're doing well. Pick your block up. We'll hold it in the opposite hand. Toes turn back. And then we're turning the left toes out, turning the right toes in. Arms come to shoulder height. Let's open up the left side, so lift the left arm. Opportunity to lengthen. And then almost like a teapot, pouring a teapot, bring your block down. I'm hoping it's so difficult getting it right for everyone, so this will make it a lot easier for some people, but perhaps it still feels very low coming down. So if you're finding you're very too low, then you can obviously use your hand and support yourself with the hand instead. So we're going to, the arm, well, traditionally with a Trikonasana, you have it reached up, but we're going to take it behind because I like this option for the shoulder. You can roll that top shoulder back. And then for Utthita Parshvanasana, simply bend the knee. And I slide my back foot away. So you could do that, but that obviously makes it a bit stronger. You're working the thigh, front thigh harder. Pressing down into the block. Release the hand, turn the palm up, bring it up over the ear. And you're finding the line from the back foot into the fingertips of the top hand. Well done. So we'll come out. So let's just drop the arm first. Rest it on the side body. The hand can come onto the thigh. Push yourself up. Turn the toes back in. Shuffle your feet back together. And we'll just hands to the heart. And pause here. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your breath. Noticing if there's a bit of tension that's crept in, which happens, doesn't it? So if you've located any, it could be in the head, could be mental tension, frustration that you couldn't get your hand to the floor, or those kind of things which happens. So just be aware of that. This is what we're trying to develop, that awareness, life and awareness in every cell. So I think we all had a chair earlier. So maybe we'll just finish with a little seat, taking a seat, and then we'll do Shavasana. If you don't have a chair, don't worry, it's not essential, but it's quite. So I've been learning about sitting, and I've been learning from this, she's not a yoga teacher, she's called Mary Bond. She's a very interesting woman, does a rolfing and all these other kind of techniques. She's very knowledgeable about connective tissue. She says that you want to create or maintain a sense of buoyancy when you're sitting. So if you're slumped back too much in your chair, you're not going to have that. You're almost immobilized. If you're sitting on your sitting bones with some weight on the thigh, then you can kind of rock and roll a little bit. So can you find that position? So there's some weight into the back of the thigh and some weight into the sitting bones. You might want to pull your flesh out a bit. And then I hope you can sense, oh, the only other thing is a little bit of an angle between the hip and the knee. So if your knees are up like that, that's not great. You won't be mobile, you won't have that buoyancy. So create that situation when you're sitting, you'll be much more able to sort of have a mobile spine, and that's great for your connective tissue, because connective tissue hates sitting around and, you know, being sedentary life is awful for connective tissue. So back pain very often apparently is actually problems with the connective tissue, and people often think it's muscular or skeletal stuff, and it's connective tissue stuff. So keep that in mind. So try and keep that sense of buoyancy as we sit now. So sense of the sitting bones, a little bit of weight into the back of the thighs. And we want to feel light in the upper body. So can you roll your shoulders back and down? We're going to do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. So we'll start with no hands, and then we'll use the hands, and then we can go back to no hands. So don't worry if you find this hard. It is a practice that we have to, develop skill at, and it's actually good to just use your imaginative powers. So we're breathing in through the left nostril. We're going to breathe out through the right nostril. We're going to breathe in through the right nostril. And breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. And yeah, just a couple more of these breaths. When you've done a couple more, then relax the technique completely. So let go and allow your breath to be completely natural again, completely free. So now I want to just do the technique with the hand and see how that feels. And then it's interesting. So we're using the, right hand, sorry. I'm doing the opposite side to you, that's why I get confused. So open the thumb and the middle finger. We're just going to rest, sorry, not thumb, forefinger and the middle finger. Press it into the third eye. It's really nice to get that little bit of support into the brow. And then you're going to block your left nostril and breathe out through the right. So I'm using my ring finger to block the left nostril. Breathe out through the right. And then breathe in through the right. Block the right nostril, breathe out through the left. Block the left, breathe out through the right. So just keep that going for a few breaths. Don't worry if you get into a muddle. Enjoy what you're doing, so adapt it, close your eyes or slow it down a bit. So one more of these breaths. And you can drop your hand back to your leg and resume that practice without your fingers and see how that feels. It might feel easier, it might feel more challenging. But bear in mind, it can just be a visualization exercise. You're just visualizing breath coming in through the left, out through the right. Can you soften around the face, around the jaw, so that there's nothing to inhibit this flow of breath or prana, or whatever you want to think of this, the life source, the vital force. And now relax the technique. We're going to come to lying on our backs. Seeing as we have the chair, if you wanted to put your legs on a chair, that would be a nice thing to do, or something under the knees. So make sure you're as comfortable as you can be. A little dab of essential oil, something over the eyes. And the techniques, the breathing techniques, the intention really is to take you into a more subtle state of awareness, and to be in a greater sense of ease and peace. So sometimes those techniques really work and other times they don't. So just bearing in mind that it's all practicing, and they're good techniques, but they're not always easy to apply. So I wanted to just do one more little technique. It's not a breathing technique. It's more of a meditative practice. We're just going to lie here for a few moments and watch and wait for a thought. So, which sounds like a strange thing to do. And when the thought comes, just noticing the quality of the thought. So we do this in other ways with our body, observing things. So it's a little technique for becoming better acquainted with your mind. So just lie relaxed, waiting for a thought. And when the thought comes, noticing what kind of thought that is. It could be a to-do thought, I've got to do this. It could be a critical thought, a doubtful thought. Just noticing, and then we'll wait for another thought. Just one more thought. A worried thought, a happy thought. And it comes, just labeling that thought with a little, I don't know, visualize maybe a little sticky label. So what is the thought? Could be I've got to do this now, or I didn't do that yesterday. Self-critical thought, worry thought, comedy thought. We're just going to let that go now completely. It's another technique. Put it to one side and relax your body, relax your mind. Let the body be heavy, completely surrendering weight to gravity. Nothing to do, nothing to prove. This moment. Jaw soft, tongue soft. the neck relaxed. The back of the neck to lengthen, which is what will naturally occur when you relax the back of the neck. Same with the back of the waist. Belly to be slack. You are hard-working gardener. Let those hard-working hands expand, soften, open. No grasping. No catching. The more you can release your weight and relax your body, the more you can tune into that inner life, that inner vitality, that inner prana, chi, ki, subtle body. I had a lovely quote recently, and I'll share it with you. I can't say who I'm quoting, but tension is who you think you should be, and relaxation is who you are. Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. So when you're ready, we're going to slowly come back, and you can do this by bringing some very subtle movements into the body, nothing jarring or jerky. Simple movement would be to lightly press the thumbs against the forefingers, and then really rolling over onto your side. Slowly coming to sitting. We'll take a comfortable seat. Just bearing in mind, you don't have to be sitting on a chair. You can sit anywhere you you want. Take a moment, sort of roll the shoulders back. And turning the palms up, lightly press down through the back of the hands, and that can help you lift a little gently. And thumbs and the forefingers pressing lightly together, shining your awareness to that point. Palms together, thumbs together, and lightly resting your thumbs against your forehead. Thanks, everybody.